add the stage. See, I forgot to add myself to the stage, y'all. Good morning. Now, as you can see, I'm a little late. And if you can figure it out, you can see why. I can't find my dentures. But y'all know me, being as authentic and transparent as I could possibly be. I'm here and I will tell you and show you the truth. My God ain't worried about no dentures, and neither should you because I ain't either. All right. So, because of that, I want to give my God the honor, the praise, the glory, the hallelujah, the worship, but most importantly, the acknowledgement that He is. He told me to rise this morning. No matter what condition you are in, you yet live. Therefore, I, Edwina B, am going to serve Him as much as I can for this day with the hope of Him using me until He bring me home. Is that your story? Is that your commitment? Are you responsible? As A.J. Harding said this morning, are you a stewardship of what God has given you? Well, time will tell. It's not about the quantity of life, it's about the quality of life. And I thank my God for being a part of a 12-step spiritual program called Alcoholics Anonymous within a 12-step fellowship that gives me principles, tools, and resources to learn to practice in all areas of my life concerning this journey here on earth called life. When I apply spiritual principles, tools, and resources, nothing, nothing will ever take me back underneath that parked car where God met me, delivered me, and prepared me to sit before you today. All right. So, welcome to the Free to Hope. Y'all know, welcome to the Free to Hope morning conversation with Edwina B. That's right. In order to set you free from recovery, emerge empowered, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. My dentures don't make me. Your dentures don't make you. Okay, so let's be set free and be authentic and transparent. You know why? Because you are who you are, right? And you were born the way you were born. We did not choose our name, our gender, our color, our race, none of that. So therefore, it doesn't matter what the vessel is. What matters is the spirit that occupies that vessel. And for a lot of years, those other spirits occupied this vessel and used me up. But underneath that parked car, hollering out to a God that I didn't know to take me out or show me a better way, He prepared me to be filled with the fruit of the Spirit. And I definitely want Him to use me up. All right, guys. So welcome. There's only one announcement I need to make, and that's sharing with you that we have, wait a minute, that's not it. We have the Alcoholics Anonymous group have moved, okay? So let me show you here, all right? So underneath on the banner, it says the Sunrise Group of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Beginners meeting has moved to the Congo Legacy Center at 501 West 28th Street. You enter from the side door right next to the parking lot. We're there from 7:30 to 8:30 from Monday through Saturday and from 9 to 10 on Sunday. We do want to thank the 1212 Corporation that was established in 1966 to have a safe haven for those individuals and families who are in recovery. At one point, there were 27 Alcoholics Anonymous meetings in that building, located now at 2700 Washington, where before it was the 1212 address, 1212 Market Street, where the first establishment of the 1212 Corporation was formed. So many people think 1212 means the 12 steps and 12 traditions. No, it doesn't. It was the first address of the 1212 Corporation. See how divinely woven that was in by our Creator? Then we moved to 20, then we moved to 1225, 1227, and then we moved to 2700 Washington. So when you share information, make sure it is the truth. Do your research. And so the AA Sunrise Group Beginners Meeting was the last AA meeting in that building. Now they have several Narcotics Anonymous meetings there, but we just want to thank them for allowing us to occupy that space, which is no longer useful for us. And we want to thank Sammy Congo and Sean Doherty for allowing us to move into the Congo Legacy Center. Okay, so let's get to our topic today. All righty. I'm going to leave that up for a minute. Let's see. Let's go to the reading for today. All right. Okay. Let me take a drink of my cocoa. All right. I'm drinking hot chocolate this morning. I should say lukewarm. I told you I'm transparent. I love it. Okay. Similar to what A.J. Harding talked about this morning, about stewardship, God providing us with an assignment for us to oversee, to take care of. AJ went, real deep and given many examples. And I related to this reading today because I am responsible, says stewardship is in the works, because stewardship, stems responsibility. All right. So today's topic for September the 12th is I am responsible. Now, our co-founders extracted from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions off of page 87 this quote. It says, for the readiness to take the full consequences of our past acts and to take responsibility for the well-being of others at the same time is the very spirit of step 9. I'll get into that in a second. The person in recovery shares his experience, strength, and hope by stating, in recovery and through the help of Alcoholics Anonymous, I learned that the very thing I fear is my freedom. It comes from my tendency to recoil from taking responsibility for anything. I deny, I ignore, I blame, I avoid. Then one day I look, I admit, and I accept. The freedom, the healing, and the recovery I experience is in the looking, admitting, and accepting. I learned to say, yes, I am responsible. When I can speak those words with honesty and sincerity, then I am free. Oh, my. Did y'all like that? Huh? Did y'all like that? Oh, I loved it, right? Oh, I loved it. Okay, so now I am responsible. Okay. One of the things that I've learned in my 34 years in being in Alcoholics Anonymous, right, is to become open-minded to what the world has to offer, rather than remaining closed-minded to what I've been exposed to, surrounded by, subjected to, and that is all I know. So having a closed mind limits me and have for so many years. However, underneath that parked car 34 years ago, my closed mind was like, I don't even want to mind. I don't even want to mind. If they say you are who you say you are, then open my mind, right? And take me out this life or show me a better way. I became open-minded when I had my one and only knee-bowing experience. That makes sense? When you are at your wits' end, I mean, end, And done, 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 beyond burnt. When you have your one and only knee bowing experience, you will cry out. Guaranteed. Help me. Help me. I don't know who you are, but help me. And because our Creator, who I now call God and know He is my personal Savior, right? In the form of Jesus Christ, right? I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that He is the ultimate source that is responsible for any and all things. So if He is responsible, then why can I not learn to be responsible for this life, this gift, this opportunity, this journey, right? That He has provided, given me and others, everybody, everything, right? Why can't I be responsible? But first I have to learn where I've been unresponsible, okay? All right, so I am responsible. What are you responsible over? All right, let's go to the first breakdown of the quote. It says, for the readiness to take the full consequences of our past. Let's stay there. For the readiness to take the full responsibility of our past, right? All right. So let's take a journey back into our past, right? Step 9 is the last step that talks about healing, rebuilding relationships, where it says we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to injure them or others, and I say even me or you, okay? So in my 4th step inventory, I learned where my attitudes, ideas, and behaviors were first formulated. I learned who I had resentments, grudges, jealousy, all those kind of ills, right, against people, places, and things. And I learned how those attitudes, ideas, and behaviors perpetuated themselves when I began using drugs, even to the extent of being placed underneath that parked car. And along the way, I learned that I caused harm to a lot of people. I caused harm to a lot of institutions. I caused harm in many areas of my life. So if I want to be set free from recovery, emerge empowered, then I must be ready. I must be ready. It says the readiness, right? It says the readiness, right? To take the full consequences of our past. I don't want nothing hanging over my head. I don't want to walk down the street looking over my shoulders. I don't want to walk across the street when I see somebody. I don't want to avoid the creditors. I don't want to avoid anything or anybody. I want peace, tranquility, and serenity. Well, how can I do that? If I am ready to accept the full consequences of my past actions. And here it says now, take responsibility, right, for the well-being of others at the same time, okay? And this is the very spirit of step 9. So I shared with you how we can make amends directly or indirectly, right? The whole process is to provide the opportunity to correct a wrong that we contributed to, we played a part in, and that's what we're doing, okay? We're cleaning up outside of the street. And so as a result of cleaning up outside of the street, I know what harm I have caused directly and or indirectly. And then there may be some I don't know until it is revealed to me. but I will still stand ready to make that amends in any way, shape, form, or fashion, right? Because I am not, you hear me? I am not held to the no, going to give anything or anybody that much power ever, ever, ever again to place me underneath that parked car. No, no, no. My children I love. My grandchildren, they are my heart. I won't even allow them to take me back underneath that parked car. So why? Because of the spiritual principles, tools, and resources that I've been using over 34 plus years to apply to any and all earthly matters, person, places, or things. I will not give anything or anybody that much power to remove me where God has placed me, okay? So once I am willing to correct my past and be responsible for the well-being of others, meaning I can't make amends in a way that will cause additional harm. I have to find a way to make indirect amends. You need an example? No problem. Okay. If I tore down your fence, the only true amends I can make is to rebuild your fence. If I have cheated with your husband or your wife, because listen, I'm transparent, been there, done that, right? God delivered me from all that stuff, right? But had I cheated on your wife or your husband, right? Then I cannot make direct amends to one or the other if the other one didn't know. That will cause additional harm, right? Now, I can make indirect amends by not messing with anybody, husband or wife. How about that? So that's what you call an indirect amends. I change my behavior. You got it? All right, so let's go down and see what this guy in recovery says. Okay, let's hide you and bring you back up. He says, in recovery and through the help of Alcoholics Anonymous. All right, let me stop there. Did you hear the word in? Huh? See, I dissect every word. In recovery. Not on the parameters, not around, not up, not under. In recovery. In recovery. In the 12 spiritual principles, resources, and tools. In recovery. I've been in recovery for over 30 plus years, and I plan to stay in recovery until God calls me home. So I am in. I brought in. I'm in. There's no graduation. There is no ceremony. None of that. I am in recovery. Okay? You got that. So in recovery, it says here, right? And through the help of Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay, so I am in recovery, right? I'm in a spiritual 12-step program with spiritual principles, tools, and resources that will bring about spiritual experiences, awakenings, and spiritual breakthroughs. Where did I get that information? While I was in recovery from and with Alcoholics Anonymous. Okay? Our literature says all human beings are ill to some extent. And all human beings can benefit from a 12-step spiritual program. How about the 12 spiritual principles of life? You can substitute alcohol, drugs. What about in recovery with the help of 12 spiritual principles for life? Learning how to apply spiritual principles, tools, and resources to the journey of life. Right? That makes sense to me. Okay? And so I'm in recovery along with getting the information from Alcoholics Anonymous this is what I do, right? I learn that the very thing I fear is my freedom. Wow. In recovery and through the help of Alcoholics Anonymous, I learned that the very thing I fear is my freedom. Woo! Oh my God. That is powerful. I'm in recovery. I'm learning 12 spiritual principles, tools, and resources. And I learned that the very thing I fear is my freedom. Now, let me break that down a little bit for you, right? When we come into recovery and we are in recovery, many people have no idea what recovery is. Well, you had an operation, you go to the recovery room. You go to the dentist and they put some gauze in your mouth and you are in recovery from that tooth so it doesn't bleed. Okay. So recovery is more or less gaining back, being restored, being reunited, right? Recovery. Okay. And so when people like me who didn't know what recovery was as it relates to alcohol and drugs, we don't know. And many of us believe that something is or was wrong with us for us to do some of the most horrific things under the influence, not knowing that when we ingested that alcohol, drugs, or substance, it created a different spirit. I had no idea, right? I just thought I was tripping. I don't know. I thought I was partying. I thought I was smart. I thought I had revelations. No, I was freaking tripping. Okay. So when we are introduced to recovery, either through a rehab or a family member or someone who knows that we need to get help for our drinking and drugging, but that's only the surface, but that's the foundation. That when we go to recovery, our first thought in some cases is, wow, I won't be free to do what I want anymore. I won't be free to do my thing. I won't be free to drink and drug the way I want to, right? And so we fear when we come into recovery that we're going to lose our freedom. Oh boy. But that's what closed-mindedness, right, reveals, because we're closed-minded, right? We are stuck on silliness. I was going to say, no, stuck on stupid. I'm not calling you stupid, but we're stuck on stupid, right? I told you, when that lady said that we make 90 meetings in 90 days, I was like, whoa, that was a lot of meetings. She said, do me a favor. She said, make a meeting a day for 3 months. Oh, I can do that. I can do that. Okay. All right. So he says he learned, right, that the very thing he fears the most is his freedom. So let's continue on what he says. He says here, it comes from my tendency to recoil from taking responsibility for anything. I deny, I ignore, I blame, I avoid. Okay, so here it is, right? It comes from our tendency to not want to take responsibility for anything. We point the finger, we blame, we deny, we ignore, right? We avoid because we don't want to be responsible, right? And so he goes on to say, right? Then one day, one day, I look, based on these 12 spiritual principles. Now, today, I look not from my human eyes, but my spiritual eyes. Why? Because the spiritual student became ready and the spiritual teachers appeared. So not only do we now look at spiritual through spiritual eyes, right? We admit, right, through utter defeat. This is what I love. As much as my mind, my humanness, thought I was in the most humiliating condition, the most humiliating condition, the most humiliating condition, I think I hear mice. I hear something. I'm sorry, y'all. I hear something scratching. I think it's a mice. I'm gonna find out. I don't play. But through the most humiliating experience came humility, right? Came humility. And so if it brought about me to cry out that I need help, I admitted I needed help. I admit I need help, right? And then the last one says, I accept my demise. My humanness has brought me to the level of what? Worse than dogs and animals, right? Yes. And as a result of that, I've learned through this 12-step spiritual program that the freedom and the healing and the recovery I experience is in looking, admitting, and accepting. Yes, I learned to say yes now. I am responsible. Like, people who got addiction and whatever, we say, I'm good, I'm cool. Yeah, I'm doing my thing. But guess what? I hear what you say, but I listen to what you do. And our behaviors did not dictate that we were responsible. Okay? All right. And so I'll close with this, right? It says, I learned to say, yes, I am responsible. When I can speak those words with honesty and sincerity, then I am free. Did y'all hear that? When I can speak those words with honesty and sincerity, then I am free. All right? I got to go. I love you. You love me. We are one big family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? If it's God's will that we are rejoined tomorrow, I'll be here and I hope you will be too. Be responsible today. Reach out and touch someone. Reach out and care about someone. Tell someone you love them. Tell someone you're thinking of them. Feed them, clothe them. Be responsible. Be the steward of what God has given you, because there's plenty more where it comes from, providing you take care of what He's already given you. To God be the glory.